Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us for our live stream. If you have a question, feel free to jump on and ask away. We'll be monitoring it throughout the episode. We'll go ahead and we'll pin that up to the top of the board also. So if you find something that we haven't asked, jump on there and ask a question.
Within limits.
Within limits.
Within limits.
If you see us going like this, we're not going to answer.
Keep it G, kind of.
Keep it G.
So, yeah, if you do happen to miss this, we will have our actual full episode within a couple weeks. So you'll be able to tune in to hear that. Excellent. So we are here with Jason Greenwood, Divine Distillers.
Yes.
You are co-owner, and with you and your wife.
Yes.
Okay. You guys started it. How many years
So we
ago?
started Divine Distillers in 2000. We incorporated in 2017 in December. We didn't open our doors to the public until August of 2018.
Okay.
So we just passed our 6 year anniversary. We're going to do our 6-year anniversary party in September. We learned over the last 4 or 5 years that we don't have a party in August because it's too hot.
Yeah.
So we've moved our 6-year anniversary to September.
Well, 5 years is kind of like a big number, I think, for like restaurants and things like that.
Yeah, but some of those were COVID years.
Yeah. So you could probably double it then, right?
I like how everybody just
it's
goes,
technically like 10 years worth of hardships.
That's pretty much true, yes.
So you guys, I was reading your bio, you're like world travelers.
Yes.
And so how did that come about? As you traveling around the world, just sampling liquor and?
No, actually, I had nothing to do with liquor for the first 45 years of my life.
Wow.
Didn't touch it. I mean, I drank like everybody else.
Yeah.
We drank a little bit, but I was a beer guy. I didn't really delve into the world of liquor.
You just pop open a can, don't know where it comes from.
Yeah, pretty much. Didn't know anything about
people.
it. Yep. I knew nothing about fermentation 7 years ago.
Wow.
Not a thing.
That's a big change
It's
from going.
a very big change.
So not knowing anything until all of a sudden you're doing like 70
different distilled spirits.
70?
70.
Oh, wow.
70 different products of distilled products, and then we do 10 different ciders, and we do I don't even know how many sodas anymore, but we do sodas, we do ciders, we do beer, we do everything.
But did you just like all of a sudden just when you learned about it, you just kind of fell in love with the chemistry of it, or what was the change?
That's how we started the distillation process. We I did contract IT work, and I did 28 years of contract IT work. And in between contracts, I was just playing around. This is in 2017. I was just playing around with yogurt, like everybody was doing in 2020. I was doing this in 2017 because I had some time.
Yeah.
So I started playing with yogurt, and I went to starting to do ginger beer. My daughter asked about ginger beer, and we started fermenting ginger beer, and we made our first ginger beer. I loved it. I loved doing it. Yeah. And we made our first wine, and we made our first beer. And then my wife asked me how much harder it was to make rum. And up until this point, this was fun, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I got to do this. And then I made my first rum, and that's when I fell in love with it. I fell absolutely head over heels with the process of distillation, and we said, let's start this up. This was November of 2017, and we incorporated in December and started the distillery.
That's crazy. So I mean, you just buy in a carboy and you're like, hey, I'm gonna try this out,
Yep,
and then
that's exactly how it was.
Let's try to make a huge amount for people.
We weren't actually. We started off really small. We started off in 400 square feet. Wow. But one of the impetuses to starting a business was I wanted to do this more than just. I wanted to do it really pretty much as a hobby. We were going to do this as a part-time thing, and then. It's illegal to distill unless you're incorporated and registered with the federal government. So I went through all of that, and I said, well, we'll just do this as a part-time. We'll do this on the side. And my contract ended prematurely due to the company downsizing. And I just took 6 months off. Mm-hmm. So I took 6 months off, started the brand, and we won 3 awards within our first 3 months.
I saw all your medals up there. I was like, wow.
So we took the girls over to the Inferno today, just sort of very nose, and we saw all your liquor up there, and I think almost every single one had some sort of medal on it.
We have 12 different products that have won awards. We've won 38 awards in competition.
Wow.
We have only submitted twice and not gotten a medal. So, and this is not a like, oh, you pay to get the medal and you move on. We're entering into things like the San Francisco World Spirits Competition and getting double golds.
Wow.
I mean,
That's
it's
amazing.
just kind of unreal for us who never did this and weren't part of this. Our very first event, we entered the San Diego World Spirits Competition and got a silver medal, I think it was.
Your very first time.
Our very first time. So we just we entered that and got a bronze medal with our apple brandy, and we were just shocked.
So how long had you been making it at that point?
We hadn't even opened to the public.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we got
Imagine these people that have been like trying it for like 10, 15 years.
It
and
was
they're
surreal.
Like, this is our year. And they're like, who's this guy?
It was absolutely surreal to the point where when we submitted, we wanted to know the results, and I called the lady who organizes it because we hadn't heard, and the event had been over, and I'm like, well, we just want feedback because we want to
Like,
know
where did we place?
Well, no, we weren't even looking for a place. We were like, well, how can we make it better? Because we didn't expect to get anything. We thought, one of the reasons why we submitted to San Diego is one of the things they do is they send you back a sheet about what you've done, what you could do better, and how you could improve. And that's all we really wanted.
Yeah.
And when I wrote to the lady, I said, hey, what's the feedback? We just like to know what to do better. And she's like, well, the feedback is you want a silver medal, so shut up.
You're like, okay.
So yeah,
right.
that was our very first thing. We hadn't even sold a bottle when we found that out. And
what one was that again?
that was our apple brandy.
Apple brandy.
And it is our most awarded one.
Really?
Yeah.
So did you make it and just like throw it in there and just cross your fingers, or is this like a lot of sampling? Like,
No, we spent some time getting it better. We spent a lot of time trying to figure out what would work better, and time. It was months, so we spent a lot of time refining it, making it how we thought we needed to do, it just happened. I mean, we didn't know what we were doing.
and you wrote down the recipe, right?
Well, so there's only one thing in it: apples.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. Everything. If you taste any of our products, everything is done by taste. We don't do. We the basics are the same, but we do everything by taste. So every single bottle that you touch, every single bottle that we produce, has been tasted by me. We've tasted the product. We've gone through. We've done all the cuts, all of them by taste. We've done we did all the flavoring that we do with when we add our herbs and spices to our other products. We do all of that by taste. There's a basic formula, but it's all, do we add more of this? Do we add more of that? If you think about wine, for example, every year the grapes change.
Oh, okay.
Same thing with our product. Every year the peaches change, the apples change. All of this flavor profiles.
about
It's
that.
not just like measuring out sugar. It's
Right.
It's the, if you had a hard sun, all of a sudden it changes how much sugar is in something like
Absolutely. So our cherry brandy, we're in the process of making cherry brandy right now. We got this different varietal of cherry. It tastes different. It's got different sugar points. It ferments different. All of this is just all these different things are different. So if you have a different mix of apples to make your base, that's going to taste different.
So I noticed it's sustainable, like,
Yes,
so it's like almost like farm to bottle type.
we very much do. So I actually know personally every single farmer that we get our produce from.
Seriously.
So the cherries, the apples, the peaches, the pears, the plums, all of that, we know them personally.
That's awesome. I mean,
Even the watermelon. We go out to Pollock and Sons, and we go out in our truck and fill it with watermelons from Pollock and Sons and bring it back over here.
So how do you decide which one you wind up going to? Is it just kind of like
Luck.
luck? That's
Luck.
awesome.
I mean, We use Stevens Farms for 3 or 4 of our different products. We use them for our peaches. We use them for our apples. Well, we used to use them for our apples. They don't produce enough apples anymore. So it was all relationships.
Yeah.
So we would start making a relationship with someone and say, hey, we would like to try blueberries from you. So we use in Salem, Sunnyview Blueberry Farms for our blueberries.
Oh, wow.
So we start off with small batches, make friends with the producers, and we just go from there.
So how many bottles come out of a batch?
It depends on the size of the batch.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely depends on the size of the batch. Like we've got, we had 1,200 gallons of cherry juice that we're fermenting right now, and that was about 30 bins of cherries.
Okay.
So it really depends on the size of. I mean, the amount of liquid gives you the amount of final volume.
So do you have like a goal that you shoot for in every one? No, it's just like whatever it's going to be, it's going to be.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's based on except for apple, whiskey, and agave, because the rums produce we just get the sugar, and produce that. For the agave, we just get the raw agave syrup, and that comes from Mexico. And the whiskey we use local breweries who produce the beer for us that we then.
I was going to ask you about that because it's a different type that we've experienced where you're actually you're mixing you're mixing the mash of the brewing from like beer.
Yep.
And making whiskey out of it.
So all whiskey comes from a type of beer. I mean, it's not usually a finished beer. It's usually, you take the basic process. You take grains, you mash them up, you ferment them, and then to make beer, you add hops and add some CO2. We don't add the CO2. Sometimes we take the hops, sometimes we don't, depending on who we're getting the mash from. But the basic mash to make whiskey is the same as the basic mash to make a beer.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
because I didn't either until I started doing this.
So this one actually has like a IPA.
So it was a hazy IPA mash.
Yeah.
Which one was this? Is this
these two?
Those two. Okay.
So our white dog makes our old dog.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what we did is we worked with a brewery in Oregon, good friends of ours. They made a hazy IPA beer. They were going to sell it, and something turned bad in the process, and they couldn't sell it. They were going to have to dump it. This was right in the middle of COVID, and instead of dumping it, they said, well, do you guys want to turn it into sanitizer? At this point, we were done with sanitizer. We had way too much already. So instead of doing that, we asked them, well, can we turn it into a whiskey? And they said yes. So we turned it into a whiskey, and that gave us this white dog. Then we took the white dog at a much higher ABV and aged it on 5 different types of wood, and that gave us the old dog.
Yeah, the white dog, I was surprised. Usually when you see like a white whiskey, you're expecting a burn, but I actually did taste the IPA in that.
You can taste the hops in there. You can taste all the flavor profile of that whiskey. It's really, really kind of cool. We were really surprised at how smooth that whiskey was.
Yeah.
Brian could talk about this all day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I could too. The white dog is really, really good.
It really is, yeah.
And it makes amazing cocktails.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because it does. I mean, you could probably make something besides just like a whiskey Coke with it. You're going to be making.
Oh, I wouldn't do it with whiskey Coke with it.
He's like, don't you dare put Coke in
Don't put
that.
it with Coke, please. No.
So what's your best recommendation for it other than drinking it straight?
For the white dog, I don't drink the white dog straight. I use it for cocktails. We make a whiskey sour with it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
With the old dog, we make something we call the Old Havana.
I had that one today.
Which is basically an old fashioned made with this whiskey, but then we added tobacco bitters.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one you had today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
There's a little play on words. It's it's an old fashioned, but it's made with our old dog whiskey, and then it's made with tobacco bitters, which is associated with Cuba. And
yeah,
I didn't want to
even have tobacco bitters. That's probably one of the reasons why I tried it. I was like, let me try that. That sounds good.
He's reading it off, and he's like,
I gotta try that. Yeah.
I like everything in here. So.
I am a big old fashioned person, so I like sampling
yes.
those.
So if you're a big old fashioned person, you should try our Pinot Noir old fashioned, which is phenomenal.
Pinot Noir old fashioned.
So it's our Pinot Noir brandy.
Okay.
And we basically take a basic old fashioned recipe, but we're using our Pinot Noir brandy to make it.
Okay.
So we do walnut bitters, a little bit of orange liqueur, and the Pinot Noir brandy.
How do you come up with the recipes you're going to do?
Invention.
Just like trial and error.
People don't tell me no.
Okay, I like that.
That's
a great life policy.
That's
People
probably why
don't
you
tell
have
me
70 different ones.
That's why we have 70 products. That's why we have so many completely off the wall items. I never learned how to do this the way that most distillers do this, and like they've been told that this is the way it has to happen and this is the way it has to go. I've just learned as I go. So
That's how some of the best products come out, though.
Yeah.
Is like you take somebody that doesn't go like the tried and true like path that everybody's supposed to. They just kind of blaze their own trail.
Yeah, that's kind of what we've done. We've just created products because hey, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And we don't have any preconceived notions as to what should be or what shouldn't be. So we just
That's probably where you get all those medals.
That is partly, I think, why we get all those medals, because we've got.
They're like, what is this?
Yes, that happens a lot with our pandan.
Yeah.
We get people who are absolutely blown away by what it is and how it is, and
that
we
the green
also
one?
get. Pardon? That's the green one.
Okay.
Yeah.
We tried that one.
So I was expecting that one to taste, because the gal that was there, she said the comparison she hears is buttered popcorn Jelly Belly, and for some reason I had in my head like green jelly bean, so I'm like, buttered popcorn green jelly bean, like what the heck is this gonna taste like? And so I go to, and because it's green, that's just kind of what was in my brain, so I take a sip of it and I was like, oh my gosh, it literally tastes like a buttered popcorn Jelly Belly. She's like, that's what I said.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, it literally tastes like that.
I was like, no, I just heard it wrong in my brain. So.
Captain Crunch cereal is another one that I get.
Where do the flavors come from?
So they all come from a leaf that they use in Southeast Asia. And that leaf is called pandan. And what we did is we take our...
Wait, what's it called? Pandan?
Pandan. The way you say it is pandan. That's how the Asians...
So I was hearing Pan Am. And
Yes.
I was thinking like...
Like the airplane?
Like the airplane. And so I was like, I'm not connecting the dots.
That sounds like a great drink.
And it tastes like buttered popcorn. Like,
which is what the airplane smelled like.
See?
It all works.
It works.
No, it's...
He's like, we have a new flavor.
Yeah, there you go. That no one tells me no. No, pandan. It's Pandan.
Okay.
And it's a leaf from Southeast Asia. They use it in desserts. It's got all of those flavors that you're tasting are within their own are from the leaf.
Okay.
Because we use our clear rum that has virtually no flavor to it. It's just got a little bit of sweetness all to itself. We do that and add the pandan, and all the sweetness that you're trying is coming from the pandan leaf, not.
Really?
Yeah, so there's no sugar added to that. We don't add anything but the pandan extract. So the green comes from the pandan extract.
Wow.
So it literally is those two items to put together.
So how do you enter something like that into a competition when it's so unique?
Flavored rum.
Okay.
It just flavored rum as
Yep.
a category? Okay.
Wow.
So we go into the flavored rum category, and we've won several medals. So we've won a gold, a silver.
Are you the
couple
only
bronze.
green one?
We are the only green.
You're great at St. Patrick's Day, I bet.
There's Midori. There's a watermelon pucker. Those two are also green.
Okay.
And that's when everyone looks at it, they're expecting a Midori or a watermelon pucker, and I'm like, no, it's
You're like,
nothing.
just try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we also get the people who there's a podcast in the Midwest somewhere that just bought a bottle and tried it, and they just absolutely hated it.
Oh no.
They absolutely hated it.
Well,
They
didn't
hated
like-
it on
we
the
didn't like them
podcast?
anyway.
Yes.
Oh, no.
it
Love
was-
everything about yours.
Well,
Bring
thank you.
anything. We'll try it.
Well, I didn't know that they were doing it. They did it. And I got someone sent me the link to it, and I'm like, oh no.
So what drink do you have a drink that you've kind of concocted around this?
Around pandan?
Yeah.
Oh, we've got 8 pages worth of drinks.
Wow.
It makes really, really amazing cocktails. If you use it like you would use a regular rum,
Yeah.
you're gonna screw up. But if you use it like if you play with the flavors, like actually play with the flavors, and you're not expecting something really, really different than what it actually flavor is.
Yeah.
So this is what I think what happened with them is that they tried it expecting a completely different flavor profile.
Yeah.
And then they get this and they're like,
It's the color. The color throws you off.
the color really
Yeah.
throws you off. You know, it just works really well with certain things. My favorite drink to make with it is a riff off of a pina colada.
Okay.
So we call it a pandan colada, and that's just it's one of the tenets of our distillery and our restaurant is to make cocktails that are really easy for you guys to recreate at home. So
We appreciate that.
We do 2 or 3 because the main purpose for our restaurant is to get people to buy the liquor,
Sure.
so then take it home and then make their cocktail.
Yeah.
So you come to our bar, you like the liquor, you buy the liquor, and then you take it home and you tell other people about it. And
You take a copy of the recipe, like a little screenshot of it,
you can actually ask us. We have a whole bunch of the recipes.
like that you can just take home
Yeah.
with you. Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that I mean. It's a driving force to our restaurant is to make cocktails that people can reproduce. We do have cocktails that are really difficult to reproduce, but the vast majority of our cocktails are super easy. So for Pandan, it's 1 to 1 to 1 of real coconut, pineapple juice, and Pandan. That's it. 1 to 1 to 1.
Wow.
It's
that's easy.
super
You gonna
easy.
try that?
Maybe.
Yeah. There you go.
So what's your best seller? I mean, of
Pandan.
all of, is it really? People just buy just bottles of that. Huh?
It's also the easiest for us to produce, and it's the one that we're trying to sell outside of the state.
Okay.
Okay.
But you know, if I was left to my own druthers, Pandan would not be our first choice. It would just be one of the many because I think our agave spirit is one of the best agave spirits in the world.
It was really good.
I think our thank you.
Yeah.
I think our apple brandy. Not only do I think, but I've seen that our apple brandy competes with other $300 bottles of apple brandy. But I can't make it at the speed that I can make Pandan.
That was the one you got silver on, right?
Yeah. Well, we've gotten
No, like the first one you entered?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, our apple brandy is we have been favorably compared to $300 bottles of apple brandy.
Well, and all
So-
your stuff is affordable too. It's not like you're walking in and it's like $100 a bottle or something
Yeah.
like that.
So our most expensive bottle that we have is this one at $65.
That's the one we're gifting to my uncle.
Well, that's very nice of you.
He's a good uncle.
Yeah, he gives stuff to us too. He's a collector of like whiskeys and stuff like
So
that.
he'll come over with something to Brian and he's like, hey, you need to try this. So
You know, the thing is, we're trying to make it so that it's affordable to people here in Oregon. You know, we take this bottle, and if we were to try to sell it where it would be compared to other products, we could easily sell this for $300 or $400 depending on the value of the product inside the bottle.
Yeah.
But we're never going to get anywhere without the name Basil Hayden or Whistle Pig. If we had that name and put this product in that bottle, they could easily sell it for $500 or $600.
Wow.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's just a name thing. We don't have the name recognition. People don't know about
Kind
us.
of like
so
the whole Grey Goose in Kirkland. Like exact same thing. It's
it's
just
it's exactly the same thing.
And you get to go to Costco too.
there you go. Not in Oregon.
So, Washington.
Washington. There you go.
The bottles themselves are really cool. I haven't seen
Thank you.
bottles like that.
That you won't. We own that shape.
Really?
Yep. So the first 6 months of our existence, I spent and learned how to use CAD and design these bottles.
On
Interesting.
your own?
Wow.
Hold on, I'm grabbing a bottle.
Yeah, they're really. It's a really cool shape because it's stable.
So not only is it stable, but if you turn it, it feels like every one of these rings is actually cantilevered, so that the top part is the top
I
part
see
of
it.
one is
Yeah.
higher than it is close to the low part of the other, so it feels like you're spiraling up, but it's not.
Okay.
It's made to symbolize the 9 layers of hell.
Okay. Now tell me about that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Because that's in your name.
9
Yes.
layers of hell.
Yeah.
Now go.
All right, so my son's name is Dante.
Okay.
When we were coming up with and my daughter's name is Angie, but it's Angelica. So when we were having a child, we were looking for a name that people couldn't make fun of. We were thinking of things that could be easily said in multiple different languages.
Yeah.
And we came up with Dante because Dante Alighieri wrote the Divine Comedy in 1300s, an Italian poet. both my wife and I love literary things. So the Divine Comedy was a set of books that we very much enjoyed.
Yeah.
So we ended up naming our son Dante. When we were looking for a distillery name, we thought long and hard about the different possible names, and one of us said Divine Distillers instead of Divine Comedy, and it just stuck. It was an immediate.
It's a cool name. And I'm surprised it wasn't taken already.
Well, we're kind of. There's actually a
no
divine.
one tells him no.
No one tells me no. It's really funny because there is another Divine Distillers in BC, and we've had a lot of good communication. They spell their name Devine, so Divine.
Okay.
So they're from the vine, which is kind of cute. So it's slightly different spelling, but we've had very good interchanges online. We've totally
nice
respect it.
together.
Yeah, we play really nice together. I love the fact that they're exactly the same name, only spelt slightly different, and they produce a lot of similar but slightly different products than we do. It's really kind of cute how we both created the same concept.
Yeah.
Were you both created around the same time?
Yes, actually. The other thing is they're not going off the Divine Comedy. We are. They're going off of the fact that they're close to grapes and they're in grape country in BC.
So it's two different words,
So
basically.
it's two different words completely, but they sound exactly the same. So we're Divine Distillers. They're Divine Distillers. It's kind of cute.
Yeah. And then you've recently, I think, as far as November, you've added on to your name a little bit.
Well, so let's see. In 2020, we purchased the Mount Angel Soda and Brewing Company.
Okay. Yeah.
And in 2022, we purchased 1859 Cider. When we purchased 1859 Cider, we also started Divine Wines.
Okay. And there are those produced on site in
Everything's produced on site in Independence.
Okay. All right.
We do everything in that building.
Wow. That's all. I mean,
Didn't you get a tour
I
of a little
got
bit of
I
it?
got a tour of the Inferno area.
Oh,
but
okay.
I didn't see the rest of it.
We stepped outside for a second. My daughter and I were playing a game, and I saw Brian talking to Victor.
Yes.
Yes. And then all of a sudden, I look back over, and both Brian and Victor are gone. I'm like, where did he go? And our other daughter's like, oh, he's looking at stuff back there. I was like,
there.
okay, we'll wait for Dad to come back.
Yeah.
He's like, that was so awesome.
Well, next time you're in there, just let me know beforehand, and I'll take you back to where we actually produce.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see. I mean, that's a lot of different things to make.
Well, what we tell people is that we make every single thing a human being drinks except milk.
Yeah.
Because we make sodas, we make ciders, we make wines, we make beers, we make spirits, everything.
Wow. Yeah, I have to go take a look at that. So the Inferno part.
The Inferno part is so when we were, one of the good and bad things about being a distiller and trying to sell here in Oregon is, in order to sell cocktails, you need to have food.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we had to do was start a restaurant, and we started the Inferno restaurant, and we tried to do it ourselves, and we did not manage it that well.
Okay. It's
I never
hard,
wanted
yeah.
to run a restaurant. I never wanted to have anything to do with a restaurant.
Yeah.
Having a bar, I'm okay with, but having a restaurant, it was never something that I really wanted.
We talked about that with a couple of other like breweries and stuff like that, and they said that can kill your main product just if they don't like the food.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, so we'll have a food truck come in, or we'll have rotating food trucks come in, and they will handle the food, we'll handle the liquor.
We've been to places like that before,
Yeah.
though, that we love the drinks, but then you go in and you sit down to eat, and you're like,
And the food's really,
Yeah, or
Yeah.
everything takes forever to get out, and then it's like,
yeah.
Well, and we've had some of those growing pains. I'm not going to say
Sure.
we haven't. We tried the food truck thing, and one of the problems with the food truck was the food truck was never open when we needed them to be.
okay.
So they would just shut
You're
down.
at the mercy of somebody else's
yes.
schedule. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we tried really hard because we didn't want to do food. So when we were in South Salem, we tried with 3 different food trucks. It just never really worked. I mean, we had great relationships with the food trucks, but it was really difficult.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we moved to Independence, one of the things is we said, well, we'll make our own food truck, and we'll start staffing it. For our grand opening, and for many years, I've known Victor Perez, who's an amazing chef.
Such a nice guy.
And he's so nice.
Oh, yeah.
And I think of him as my brother. I mean, he's absolutely amazing. And I had him come out for our grand opening and do a pig roast and do the whole thing for our grand opening about a year ago. We did it for Cinco de Mayo. And then, during that time, I had him come out on weekend, or he was coming out on weekends to augment our food. And we went through 5 different chefs in that time frame, and we could never get our food working the way we wanted it to. It was just always really difficult, and I was stressed to no end dealing with all of that. And we put out an ad in on Facebook and Instagram saying, we just want someone who's becomes our partner. And Victor saw this. He reached out to me. He's like, dude, how can I help you? And I said, you take all the food and all the dealing with all the food. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for someone who will just take the food and run with it.
Yeah.
We'll do all the bar and everything. And he liked the idea, and he and I have known each other long enough, and he trusted me and I trust him. So we created this absolutely fantastic partnership where he does the best food I have ever had in Oregon, and I do the best drinks that I've ever had in Oregon.
It's a perfect pairing.
It works out really well. I mean, I could eat his food every single day.
Yeah,
I would probably be a balloon. I mean, I'm already. I have gained 20 pounds since he started working there.
The meats are so good.
The meats are so good.
I know, I think we had like 3 different things that we were eating, and Brian's like, "This is amazing," and "This is amazing."
It's a good tie-in with your theme. It's like the 7 layers of hell. It's
9
layers of hell, and you got delicious barbecue somewhere.
Yep.
And
So, and also the theme of the whole restaurant, I mean, it's the infernos on the bottom of if you look at the bar, the infernos on the bottom of the bar all the way through. Then we have plants on the middle layer where on all the tables and chairs. And then we have the ceiling that's all got the lights for heaven. So
there's
a whole tie-in. All our products are either an inferno, a purgatory, or a paradise spirit. So everything ties into the Divine Comedy. And then Victor cooks on live fire, so that's all the inferno part of it, and then you get to eat it, and that's all the heaven part of it.
When we were sitting there, we were trying to figure out what to eat, and he just leans over and he goes, "Hey, so if you have any questions about anything on there, just let me know." And we're like, "Okay." He's like, I literally built the menu." And we're like, "Wait, you?" And he goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "Yeah, so if you have any questions, I can tell you everything about it."
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, he and I spend a lot of time at the restaurant, and it kind of sometimes it really freaks people out, and sometimes people think it's just really cool that we're there and we can answer it, and it's not, hey, we're the owners and happen to know it. It's we actually touched it.
Yeah.
So I was telling you, like every single gallon of liquid that we do, I've basically had a hand in it, like a significant hand in it, and every single bottle that goes out, my son has filled. He's put the label on and he's capped it. So someone in my family has touched every single step of the way along making the product. My daughter has helped us with the designs, with several of the designs. She's helped us with the capping. She's helped us with the making of the product. My wife does all the flavorings. So all our Amaros and all our flavored products. So our Sinful Tequila, which has gotten a gold medal, all our Amaros, 3 of which have won awards. All of those she makes. The only flavored product that we make that she doesn't touch is coffee, and that's because I like mine bitter, like people in the Northwest do. Yeah. And she doesn't. So we wanted me to do the coffee.
Yeah, I like the coffee one because it tastes like a cold brew.
That's the first thing he said. He took a drink of it. He's like, "Oh, it tastes like I'm drinking a cold brew."
It is a cold brew.
Yeah. I was expecting more like it's going to taste like Kahlua or something.
Yeah.
But
no. It's we use we do cold brew espresso. And we cold brew it with our rum instead of with water. That's it. That's all we do. We don't add sugar. We don't add anything. It's just a cold brew espresso, but with rum instead of water.
So will this wake me up or put me asleep?
Yes. Both. It's like Red Bull and vodka.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good thing.
Only better alcohol than most vodkas, and because it's got a whole lot of flavor, and I'm not going to poo-poo vodka because a lot of people drink vodka, but it's essentially a good vodka is flavorless.
Yeah.
Rum's got a lot of flavor in it.
Yeah. Very cool. So what does it look like as far as growth from here? I mean, is it just adding on to the amount that you're doing, or is it like?
So our big need for growth is obviously we want to bring more people into the restaurant, but then also we need to start selling our products outside of Oregon.
Sure.
Oregon is where businesses die as far as alcohol is concerned.
Yeah.
The state taxes for Oregon and Washington are just not something that induces growth.
Sure.
For alcohol specifically?
For hard alcohol.
Okay.
Like if we look at what Oregon as a state did for the wine industry and for the brewing industry, they made huge concessions, but they won't do any of those for liquor.
Is there a reason?
We don't have a large enough group of people who want to make that change.
Got it.
Yeah, because it's like a consortium of like you got the wine, the grape growers, and you got the hops growers, and so it's it goes past what the breweries are doing. It's a whole.
Yeah, so there's a lot to that, and there's only 60, 70 of us that make distilled products, and
what is average in most states?
So I don't know what number of distillers is, but the tax is what's killing us as distillers, and I will not know the taxes for beer and wine, but I know it's in the 2 to 5% that they pay on their products.
Mm-hmm.
What we pay in liquor is 104%.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
So for every
2 to 5% on
beer and wine.
Beer and wine.
Uh-huh.
And it's 104% for liquor.
What?
Yeah, it's a little insane. So if you bought a bottle of liquor for $204, only 100 of that is going to the producer.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's absolutely insane.
Well, the government just loves you if you sell a bottle.
They're like, sell more.
But they don't encourage local distillers because they have this mandate, and I don't know how this came about, but they have this mandate that they'll do the same thing for all liquor producers. So Jack Daniel's that's producing it for next to nothing can come here, and that's why you get this disparity in prices between the national producers and the Oregon producers. Oregon producers have to sell it for more because this is our bread and butter. This is our state. This is where we need to make money. Jack Daniel's can afford to take lose most of their money or their profit on the bottle here in Oregon because they're already producing everywhere else.
Yeah.
So are you...
And I use Jack Daniel's just because it's probably the most famous brand out there.
Do you, are you allowed to do any like shipping outside of the U.S.?
Outside the U.S., yes. There's just, anytime you ship, there's all these rules and regulations. So we're only allowed to ship to distributors. We're only allowed to ship out of state to distributors. We're only allowed to ship out of state to or out of country to distributors. So there's paperwork. So I have to get a distributor in each and every individual state in order to ship out product. So we have a distributor in California. We ship out to that distributor. That distributor then disseminates our product to the stores. And it's one of the biggest obstacles to getting our product outside of the state.
Now, can someone come to the website and buy it directly from you and you send it to them?
In Oregon, yes.
Okay.
Because during COVID, they made that legal for us to ship inside the state.
Only inside
the state.
You can't ship outside the state.
It's illegal to ship liquor across state borders unless you are shipping it to someone who is a distributor.
Yeah. That's where you have to get the old jalopy and you put a tarp over it and drive as fast as you can across the state line.
Well, the thing is that is kind of the position that a lot of liquor producers have been put in. Is it's a bootleg or we don't do this. But you're forced into essentially having to sell in your state or have a big enough distributorship somewhere that you can send to. So we have a distributor in Illinois. We ship to them and then they send it out. But it's all about taxes.
They can send it to other states, or they can send it just to Illinois.
Just to Illinois.
Got it.
Okay.
There are a couple of states where they allow that distributor or that group to sell outside their state, and that's how some of the people have these mail order liquors, but there's a very small group of people who can actually do this legally.
Okay.
And is the markup on that so
Yes.
huge?
Yes. But it's not as high as the markup is
I was
for,
gonna say, it's
for
probably
in
less
Oregon.
than Oregon.
It is less than Oregon. So if you want a perfect example of the ridiculous price of Oregon, Pandan, which is our best selling product, I sell it in Chicago for $22 for the bottle. I sell it here in Oregon for $37. I make more money off the $22 bottle in Chicago that I shipped to Chicago, and I'm paying a distributor in Chicago, than I do selling it out of my tasting room here.
That's crazy.
Yeah. There's something wrong with that.
There is
The
something
math
very
is not
wrong.
mathing there.
Yes.
Wow. So what's next on your to-do list that no one's going to tell you no on?
So, product-wise,
He's like, fight me.
Product-wise, we've got a new gin that's coming out, and we're going to be working on that gin, and that's going to come out soon. We have a ghost pepper tequila that's coming out, which is fantastic.
And how hot is that?
Very hot, very very hot. We have a habanero rum, which is not hot at all. It's got all the flavor of a habanero. That's delicious. But we had a lot of people who are like, well, when are you going to make something spicy? So
Here you are.
here we are. My son and I love very spicy food. So, the ghost
I love
pepper.
He'll
My-
be your tester.
As I get older, my body doesn't love it, but I still love it.
Yeah, that's the thing is my mouth loves it, but my body kind of rejects this now. But I still love the taste, and the ghost pepper tequila is so phenomenal.
Wow. I'll have to try that next time. It sounds scary. It sounds terrifying.
It's
but
absolutely delicious. And then
I'll drive you home.
at some point we're hoping to do a challenge shot where you do 3 shots of spicy stuff plus eat hot wings that Victor makes plus and if you're able to do all of that without drinking milk, then
So
Ryan,
you get it
you
for
gotta
free
sign
if you
yourself up.
finish.
When's
that's
the
kind
date?
of yeah. So it's my son will eat almost anything as spicy as you want, and his tongue was burning and decided to stop.
Wow.
That's where we were at. Then not with the ghost pepper tequila. We've got a ghost pepper tequila, and then we've got we add raw capsaicin to. We have a little bottle that we call Liquid Death. We're not legally allowed to say it. We can't call it Liquid Death because there's Liquid Death water, but it's just a dropper full of liquid capsaicin, and we just add a couple of drops of that to the ghost pepper tequila, and then we add a couple more drops to the third shot of the.
Wow. You guys,
My mouth's on fire. And
Yeah.
I don't even.
My mouth
So
was
like ketchup is spicy for me sometimes, or like Heinz 57. So
Yeah, so you want to
like-
stay away from this one.
Is this a straight shot, or you mix this like a margarita?
No, straight shot.
Ooh.
What did margarita flavor go with that? Is it just
So the spicy ghost pepper works really, really well with the margarita. It works no problem.
Huh.
But I don't think the ghost pepper tequila is that spicy. I mean, obviously it would be to
kill
you,
me. But yeah.
but I thoroughly enjoy drinking that,
awesome?
and
So
I'll sip on that.
how do we support you? It sounds like you need more people into the restaurant.
We definitely, the more people come to the restaurant, the better it is. The more people know about us, the more people want to buy us. Another thing that I'm gonna start asking people is ask your local bar. Ask your local bar to carry our products, because we are having a hard time getting into local bars. So here in Salem, we have a whole lot of bars. We would love the bars in Salem. We've been around for 6 years.
What about Lively Station? Do they?
They are not. They do not carry our product yet, but we love. I mean, we support the local bars and restaurants. We would love to have them support us.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
I'm not going to name names. But we really want
Yeah.
our local bars and restaurants to have our products, because first of all, we support them. We go and we eat them there, and we would like to be able to buy our products and drink our products in their location, and it helps them. We're local.
Yeah.
And I'm not asking for people to bring on our product because we're local and we're good.
Yeah.
I mean, we're really, really good.
So I thought one of the neat things about the Inferno is when Brian told me we were going to go there, I was like, well, I have the kids. Like they're not back in school yet. And so
Yep.
they're with me today. I was like, so, you can go and I'll just like, you can tell me how it is sort of thing. And he was like, no, like kids can come to it. And I'm
Kids
like, wait.
and dogs.
I was like, oh, okay.
Kids and dogs.
I was like, but it's a distillery. And he's like, I know, but the kids are allowed there and everything. And I was like, okay. So I'm like packing stuff to make sure the kids are like entertained and not like running around while we're there. And then we get there and you have tons of stuff for kids to do too.
Yep.
So I thought that was awesome.
Well, one of the, we started
Very
this
family friendly.
We started this when we had two young kids, and we always wanted our kids to be able to come into our restaurant. We always wanted our kids to be able to come into our location and not be, not be ostracized. And, we always want kids to feel at home. We have tons of games. We will always be family friendly. We'll always be dog friendly. We have our own dog. If we want to take our dog somewhere, we want to know that it will be welcome. And we just don't want anyone to ever feel like they're not welcome at our place.
You don't want anybody to tell you no.
That too. I never want people to tell me no.
I can't come because I can't bring my dog. But you can.
You
well,
can.
but then I have my kids. But you can bring them too. So yeah.
And we have
bring grandma.
And we don't have like iPads to give to the kids. That's a little insane. But we do have Uno. We do have we have tons of games.
I like it's like the games that they have to interact while they're there.
And then we've got outdoor games that they can play on the lawn that we have out there. And we've just that's the concept is have a beautiful place where people can go and get away from the world. Yes, sure, it's called hell, but
it's happy hell.
It's a happy hell.
Well, Jason, I really appreciate you coming in.
Well, thank you for having me. I really do. I really do appreciate this. It was completely awesome to do this. So thank you.
And be sure to follow them on Instagram. You guys are on Facebook too?
We are on Instagram and Facebook. We have 3 handles. So Divine Distillers, Inferno Restaurant, and Pandan Rum.
Okay. And also, you have your own website that actually lists some of the menu items and events coming up also.
So I will say, if people are looking at the Divine Distillers website, it's not as updated as the Inferno's website. And if you're looking at the Divine Distillers website, it's for liquor. Yes, we do have some of the restaurant stuff in there, but the restaurant site is where you'd go to find out our current menu and everything like that. I think there's actually a link from the Divine Distillers website to the Inferno restaurant.
Can't we post a link in the show notes too?
Yeah. Okay. We'll have all the links for those on there. Be sure to tag us and stuff when you have events coming up. We're happy to share it on social media.
I appreciate that. Too. So September 21st is our 6-year anniversary. I think it's on the 15th of September. We're doing Mexican Independence Day because I know I don't look it, but I'm actually Latino. I was born in Brazil, grew up in Mexico.
That's awesome.
Okay, that's where the world traveling kind of started from.
That's where the world traveling started with. I've lived in 17 different countries and 25 states.
Wow.
That's amazing. Kara Alicia said tell you hi.
Hi, Kara.
I saw it.
She's awesome.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you very much for having us. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks, guys.